Yes, welcome to the question number 6, which is our last question in this paper. The question reads, human resource metrics and analytics forms the foundation of effective human resource accounting. Human resource metrics and analytics forms the foundation of effective human resource accounting. Explain the attributes of effective human resource metrics. Explain the attributes of effective human resource metrics. Now, when you talk about the attributes of effective human resource metrics and analytics, we have said that they form the foundation for the effective human resource accounting, ensuring that the organizations measure workforce contribution accurately. So the different attributes include, the first one is about relevancy. The human resource metrics must align with the organization's strategic objectives, ensuring that they directly impact the business goals such as employee retention, productivity, or diverse initiatives. So when you're talking about the relevance, is that when we are looking at the human resource metrics, then the question is that what is their objectives? What is their relevance to the organization? So we have to align these metrics in relation to the organizational objectives that will help the organization to retain its performance by ensuring as a department that we are able to focus on employee retention, reduce the number of employees who are leaving the institution. It's increasing our production in terms of productivity and all that. Like for example, if a company aims to reduce the employee turnover, relevant metrics will include like voluntary exit rates, average tenure per employee, and reasons for resignation, rather than focusing solely on recruitment speed. The second attribute is in terms of accuracy. So for HR metrics to be valuable, they must be based on reliable data sources and precise calculations. So errors in data collection can lead to misleading conclusions affecting the workforce strategies. Like for example, we are saying a manufacturing firm tracking productivity should use automated time tracking system rather than manual logs. This helps to ensure accurate work hour records that influence performance assessments. Then we have the third attribute, which is in terms of timeliness. So the metrics should be updated frequently to reflect the current workforce conditions rather than relying on outdated statistics. So this is going to help in making proactive HR decisions. Like for example, I have given an example here that says that if an organization monitors employee engagement using survey conducted once every 3 years, the insights may not reflect recent workplace changes. Instead, implementing quarterly pulse surveys ensures continuous feedback. So in other words, when you're talking about timeliness, the question will be, how long does it take for you to conduct, for example, an evaluation, or for you to be able to be monitoring the employee engagement? Like for example, how long does you take to call for a meeting? You will find that some organizations are like, for example, the whole year has passed, they have never had a staff meeting. So you'll find that employees have got issues, but they have no platform where they can be able to communicate. So the timeliness is that if we are able to be more engaging, if we are able to conduct meetings monthly basis, weekly if we can, or even daily if we can, it becomes easier for the employees to express themselves, which makes them, or which even motivates them by knowing that they have a platform where they can be able to express their issues. Comparability is another another attribute. Now, when you talk about the HR metrics should allow comparisons across different time periods, departments, or even industry benchmarkings, enabling the organization to assess progress and identify the trends. So we need to look at these metrics and compare them For example, between department and department. For example, between the period last year, period or last month we did this. What about this month? What has affected or what has impacted the results in this month and stuff like that. So a company tracking employee absenteeism could compare current year absenteeism rate with the past 5 years data or industry standards to determine whether absence policies needs to be adjusted. Then of course, the other attribute is on action ability. The collected data should lead to tangible decision that improve workforce management, such as training investment or even policy updates. So when you're talking about the action ability, is that the attributes, the HR metrics must be action oriented. There are metrics that can be able to trigger actions to be done. Like for example, if an HR analytics report shows that employees who undergo leadership training have a 30% higher promotion rate, this insight could inform the expanding leadership development programs within the company so that they are able to create more opportunities. Then the sixth attribute is the strategic focus. Metrics should support broader business strategies, not just day-to-day operation reports. They should help align the HR initiative with company growth goals. Like for example, a retail chain expanding into new market should analyze staffing levels, require skills sets, and hiring rates to ensure the workforce is equipped to support business expansion efforts. And of course, we have cost efficiency. Gathering HR data should be financially viable, using technologies that reduce costs while maintaining the data accuracy in that aspect. So we need to ensure that we are not incurring so much cost, but at the same time, we are getting enough data for the purpose of decision making. So instead of spending excessive or even external consultant for workforce analysis, a company could leverage HR analytics software to gather insights at a fraction of a cost, especially in terms of tracking the absenteeism, tracking the time the employees are reporting to work, the time they're leaving, and such kind of issues. And lastly, we have the employee centrics. Effective HR metrics should consider employee well-being, engagement, and even satisfaction rather than solely focusing on financial outcome. The financial aspect is not the only motivating factor to the employees. There are other motivating factors, like when the employees feel like they are appreciated or they are recognized within the workforce. Issues like in relation to the environment the employees are working, how well or how conducive is that environment to these employees. When we look at issues to the well-being, the health status, an organization that takes care of the health status of its employees, like ensuring that the employees have got good working schedules and stuff like that, all those focuses on the well-being of the employees. So the metrics should be employee-centric. Like for example, a company tracking performance efficiency should also measure employee stress levels, ensuring that high productivity does not lead to burnout or even workplace dissatisfaction. Like in that aspect of the point, we have given an example like an IT company could track metrics such as employee turnover rate, average training hours per employee, and revenue per employee to assess the workforce effectiveness. Lastly, the last part, explain the various types of human resource measurements. Explain the various types of human resource measurements and evaluation. Explain the various types of human resource measurements and evaluation. Now, when you talk about the types of human resource measurements and evaluation, human resource measurements and evaluation help organization to assess its workforce effectiveness. So, the key type of human resource measurements and evaluation, first is employee productivity metrics. When you talk about employee productivity metrics, these metrics ensure or they look at the workforce efficiencies by assessing the output per employee, task completion rates, and even the sales revenue per a worker. So in other words, we want to look at how productive are the employees, how much or what are the performance of each employee. So we are going to assess the performance of each employee, especially, for example, in the sales. Like, you are selling products. You can have a situation whereby one employee is selling 100 products, but these 100 products are bringing in maybe only 20,000 shillings. Whereas there's another employee who is selling, for example, 2 products, but these 2 products are bringing in maybe like 200,000. Then the question will be, who is bringing more value to the organization? Is it the one who is selling more products in terms of quantity, but those many products is selling the products that are only less praying, the value is 20,000, whereas there's another one who's selling only 2, but its value is 200,000 and all that. So in example, like in a sales department, we need to be able to track the monthly revenue per salesperson, which helps identify top performance. And if an employee consistently generates high sales, they may be eligible for promotions or even performance bonuses or even rewards and recognitions. Number 2, training effectiveness. We can monitor and assess, evaluate the training effectiveness. We are likely to evaluate the impact of the training programs using the metrics like pre and post-training performance changes to determine whether the employee have gained relevant skills. We are talking about like in the sales department. You are having situations whereby you look at the performance of the sales officers before training. Then probably you realize the sales were down. Then you realize the need for training. You took the employees to training in terms of how to speak to clients, how to sell the products, how to ensure that they are closing deals and stuff like that. Now then, after spending much money of the training, after some time, let's say after 2 months, 3 months, depending on your policy, you need to assess the performance of post-training to determine whether the training had an impact on these employees, whether it's helping them to improve their sales or performance in relation to their duties. So, for example, if a call center trains a customer service agent on handling difficult conversation, post-training metrics such as customer satisfaction scores and the call resolution time can reveal whether the program improved the performance or not. Thirdly, we can look at the employee satisfaction and engagement. Here we can use surveys, feedback mechanisms, and even sentiments analysis to gauge the morale, motivation, and the employee commitment to the company. So like, for example, a tech company can conduct a quarterly employee survey to assess engagement levels. So if the survey results show low job satisfaction, then the management may introduce work-life balance initiatives such as flexible schedules and all that. So here we look at the employees. We assess how well or how satisfied are the employees. How motivated are the employees when it comes to engagement? Do the employees have a platform where they can be able to express, where they can be able to suggest, where they can be able to give their input? Are they happy at their workplace with the nature of the work environment, the work schedule, the time and stuff like that? This triggers and affects their performance. So we can be able to measure that well, and we can be able to determine that satisfied employees are likely to perform much better compared to dissatisfied employees. Fourthly, we can assess or we can look at the turnover and the retention rates. This tracks how often employees leave the company and evaluates the effectiveness of retention strategies, helping the business reduce employee exits. So here we can look at if it's an organization that employees keep resigning. You bring in new employees, after 2 months, 3 months, they have resigned. Even the ones that are well trained, they have resigned. So you find an organization that has got like 200 employees. In a year, 50 employees have resigned. So then it creates, or it calls for a cause for alarm, where you need to find out what is wrong, what is making these employees to keep on resigning every time. What can we do to be able to retain these employees? So, like for example, an hotel chain experiences a high staff turnover. Analyzing and analyzes exit interviews to discover the employees leave due to poor career growth opportunities. In response, they introduced leadership training programs to encourage long-term retention so that they cannot spend so much because if an employee, we looked at earlier, if employees leave, then that brings a cost in terms of recruiting new employees and all that. Then we can look at the recruitment metrics, including indicators such as time to hire, cost per hire, quality of hire, ensuring efficient hiring process. So in other words, we look at how much is it going to cost us to hire in terms of financial terms, in terms of time, in terms of are we getting the right person, in terms of experience and skills and knowledge and stuff like that. So like an example, a hospital measuring time to hire finds that specialist doctors take an average of 6 months to recruit. So to address delays, they introduce an AI-driven hiring platforms that accelerates candidate screening. Then another metrics is the absenteeism and attendance. This monitors employee attendance patterns to identify trends affecting productivity, including reasons for excessive absenteeism. So we need to assess why employees are not coming to work. We are organizing training. The employees are not attending those trainings and workshops. Then we need to find out the reasons. Like for example, a factory can analyze absenteeism rates and it notices frequent absence among shifts workers. So this, after investigating, they find that long hours contribute to fatigue and they adjust the shift scheduling to reduce the burnouts within the organization. Then of course, the other metrics is in compensation and benefits analysis. We need to evaluate whether the salaries, structures, the bonuses and benefits effectively motivate employees. This will ensure fair pay and enhance job satisfaction, productivity. You know, money is, when it comes to compensation, it's a very sensitive thing when it comes to employees. Everybody's working for money and all that. So we need to have, like for example, a retail company compares salary packages with competitors and finds that they offer below average wages. For the purpose of so such kind of issues will make or will increase the employee turnover, because the employees will want to go to competitors who are paying roughly a higher amount compared to what they are receiving. So to retain staff, the organization decides to improve incentives such as health insurance and performance bonuses, so that even if the employee sees that the salaries are maybe below average compared to the competitors, but when the employee looks at the other benefits that comes up with having that job, the employees finds a reason to remain at that workplace. And lastly, measures the inclusiveness of hiring and the promotion practices, ensuring fair opportunities across demographic groups. So for example, a law firm reviews its promotion metrics and notices that women are underrepresented in leadership roles. So they introduce mentorship programs and diversity policies to create equal advancement opportunities. For instance, a manufacturing company may evaluate workforce efficiency using metrics like unit produced per employee per hour and the likes. So we also need to measure the workforce diversity metrics to ensure that we are including or we are dealing with issues like gender, age, and all that, so that we are bringing about fairness and transparency when it comes to opportunities and other issues within the workforce. And that is how we answer our paper. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
So if you like this video, you can always enroll with us. You'll be able to access more of these revision sessions. And also you'll be able to find well done lectures or pre-recorded videos for all the KASNEB courses as well as CHRP. And in case of anything, you can always reach us out. We have our contact details on the screen. Feel free to call, feel free to WhatsApp anytime. So thank you, and let's meet in our next session.